Our next guest has created some of the most memorable superheroes of all time: the X-Men, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and in just a few weeks, Daredevil finally makes it to the big screen, joining us via satellite from Los Angeles. Comic book legend, a superhero in his own right, Stan Lee. It's great to have you back, Mr. Lee.
Hey, it's great to be here, Leo. How are you?
I'm great, and we're so honored to talk to you. In fact, I just watched Mallrats, the Kevin Smith film that you have a great role in. You're wonderful in that.
Yeah, but I think I'm a jinx. It's the one movie of his that didn't do that well.
It was a flop, but I think people are rediscovering it, and a lot of it, credit goes to you. You talk in that movie about superheroes, and you have this great speech in which you say that the superheroes often are created to kind of overcome deficiencies in your own life. Is that something that goes on for you? I mean, you've created some of the greatest superheroes of all time.
No, not at all. It must be obvious. I have no deficiencies, but your average superhero.
That's really obviously one of your great skills is coming up. You've come up with so many of the greatest superheroes of all time, and now, of course, they're becoming bigger and bigger in the movies. You know, I guess it's nothing new. I mean, Batman and Superman have certainly spent a lot of time in the movies, but now many of your characters, Spider-Man was a huge success last summer. The Incredible Hulk is about to come out, and this new one, Daredevil. Your executive...
You know, it's an amazing thing. I did them as these little comic books, which were okay, I guess, and then all these brilliant directors and actors and screenwriters are making me seem much better than I am by doing such terrific versions of these characters.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of what made Spider-Man so great was that the director managed to capture that unique look that Spidey had. You know, when he would stand there crouched down, like, they made it look, you know, Sam Raimi did a great job. So I think credit goes to you for that visualization in the very first place.
Well, a lot of it goes to Steve Ditko, who actually drew it.
Right.
I only wrote the stories and came up with the idea. But between the two of us, I think we were pretty lucky.
More than lucky, very talented. Tell me about Daredevil.
Well, Daredevil was fun to do because I was looking for something totally different. So I figured nobody has ever done, at least to my knowledge, a blind superhero. And I figured that's the ultimate challenge. If I could make a blind superhero seem believable, and well, the movie will give the answer.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We're looking at a clip of it right now. It's really remarkable. Now, you're credited as executive producer, but how much actual involvement do you have with these movies?
Virtually none. No, truthfully, we have the top directors, the top producers, the top actors. There's no need for me to butt in. And what they've done, they've been very nice and given me a little cameo role in each of the movies. In fact, if you don't blink your eye, you'll catch a glimpse of me in the Daredevil movie. The only one I missed is the Hulk. I was out of town when they were supposed to shoot me, and I missed that. I'm hoping we can still do it, but I'm not sure.
Now, Daredevil and the upcoming Hulk are, I would say, adult films. They're really not aimed at kids. Do you think that, certainly they're darker, and are they truer, you think, to your original conception because of that?
Well, I haven't seen them yet, but I've been told that they're pretty true. Actually, when I wrote these things, they weren't dark, and I wrote them for readers of all ages.
Right.
I tried to keep them simple and innocent enough for very young children, but hopefully intelligent and provocative enough for an older reader. Now, Daredevil, I think, over the years has become a little bit darker and more somber. And the Hulk has had 100 metamorphoses over the time. I'm not even sure what version of the Hulk the movie is going to have this time.
Any movie that could survive Bill, any character that could survive Bill Bixby, obviously has real legs. That's all I can say.
Well, any movie that's going to be directed by Ang Lee.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's so good.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I thought Bixby was just wonderful in the series.
I won't say anything bad. And Lou Ferrigno was a pretty good Hulk, I must say.
Oh,
Very
you
scary.
couldn't. If you had to do him live, there was no better person on earth.
He looked the part. Now, I know you worked a little bit with Michael Chabon on his book Cavalier and Clay, which is a wonderful story of comic book artists.
I hate to disappoint you.
You didn't? He thanks you.
No, I didn't. Well, he thanked me for just existing, I think.
I guess.
I may have met him and spoken to him. I don't really remember.
Have you read the book?
I didn't work with him.
Have you read the book?
I have it on my bookshelf. I've had it there for months, and I keep telling myself, one day I've got to read it.
I would love to hear your take on it.
Well, I've been told I'm mentioned in it.
Yes.
I haven't had the time to read it. I thumbed through it a few times quickly, didn't see my name, and I put it down again.
I do that all the time. I know how you feel. Well, the one thing that made me think of you when I was reading it is they talk a little bit about the process of creating a superhero. And I'm wondering what process you go through when you sit down and try to create a new character. What are you thinking about?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm going to have to try to think back. I sit down, the first thing you try to do is say, as I'm sure every writer says, what hasn't been done before?
Right.
What type of character can I get who has a unique problem that we haven't seen depicted before? The next thing you have to think of is, what can I do to make this character empathetic, to make the reader want to relate to him and care about him or her? Because if you don't care about a character, no matter how powerful he or she is, no matter what kind of stories you come up with, it's meaningless. You've got to worry about your main character. The only way you worry about them is if you give them interesting personalities.
It's interesting that you start with a problem, though.
Always.
And why is that?
Well, I don't think anybody is interested in characters that don't have problems. Just because someone is a superhero or a hero doesn't mean that they don't have personal problems. Everybody has them. Why do people watch soap operas? Why do people read The Inquirer? You want to find out what type of problems in The Inquirer do celebrities have. You watch a soap opera, although I don't know if they're as popular as they used to be, to find out every day there's a new problem and how are these people going to get out of it.
Good point.
You go to a movie, whether it's The Matrix or what, the hero gets put in the worst jam in the world, and you say, how is he ever going to get out? That's what makes a really good story, especially, as I said, if you care about the hero.
But don't you ever wish you had adamantine claws that could retract? Come on. Now that's a problem I'd like to have. Stanley,
I had all those powers.
We're losing our satellite, but it's so great to talk to you. Can't wait to see the movie.
Nor can I.
It's been a great... You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh, well, we should get it to a
I was just on the set the one day to do my cameo, that was all. And listen, I hope you find your satellite. Now I've got a new thing to worry about.
See, we all have problems. Stan Lee, you're the greatest. Thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure, I really enjoyed it.
We really appreciate it. His book, Excelsior, The Amazing Life of Stan Lee, is available now. And what a great motto for one of the greats in the business, the great in the business. Thank you so much, Stan.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. To find out more about Daredevil and for an excerpt of Stan's book and, of course, a link to buy it, check it out at thescreensavers.com. Excelsior.